Growing up with my mom was really difficult because I was a very energetic child and my mom wasn't very patient, and so she'd basically beat the crap out of me. She would just, it didn't matter where it landed, doesn't matter what the object was, but it was usually a metal belt. It was one of those old Western belts, and it was pretty bad. Even made me take a shower and told me not to dry, and then she beat me with the metal belt, and so she wasn't very patient with me. By her doing that, I felt unloved, I would say. I felt that she didn't really care about me. She was very affectionate toward my sister, and which is funny because she called her little boy. It's just like a thing that she would say to her because she wanted a boy, but she was always like on my sister and not very affectionate with me. Yeah, when I was at school, I believe what really brought the attention of the school calling CPS was my mom actually burned my finger because I was playing with matches, and she wanted to teach me what it's like to play with fire. So she burned her cigarette, she turned it off on my hand. And that definitely raised questions with the school. So they called CPS, and I was stripped naked, and they took pictures of all the bruises all over my body because I had a lot of bruises. And then my mother married my stepdad, and we moved, and we were all living together. And my mother, of course, was still very impatient, and she most definitely didn't like my stepsister. She didn't like me hanging out with her at all. And my stepdad later became my abuser, sexual abuser, even though I didn't realize that I was being abused sexually. So it was a combination of my mother physically and verbally and mentally, as well as my dad physically, sexually. With my dad, with my stepdad, I was his favorite. So at least I was somebody's favorite since my mother loved my sister so much. So I was then introduced, he began touching me in my private areas and would try to make it seem fun to me so I could enjoy it. And he also introduced me to pornography. And he would always make it seem like it was fun, and had a collection and would have me pick out the movies. And then after that, it continued more than just touching me, but it actually became sexual, a lot deeper than him just touching me. And when my mom was sick, he would take me to his job to go do it. If my mom was at home, he would take me to his job, and if she wasn't, then it would happen in their bedroom. My stepdad liked to make it fun, seeming like it was fun, and he would call it, "Let's make a deal," or "Let's take a nap." And what that was actually was, sexual favors. And for me to be able to go out. So I wasn't like a normal child. And even though I didn't get to go out much, in exchange for my freedom outside those doors was that I had to do sexual favors for him. And they weren't always kept on his end, which really sucked for me whenever I was a kid. But point being, overall, it was pretty ugly what had to happen for me to have freedom to go outside. In the 4th grade is when the sexual abuse began with my stepdad, and it ended up until I was 19 years old, and I had to leave. After all this that has taken place, I really, I've had my downs, and now I want to go up more than ever, especially after reading that book. It was such an amazing and empowering book to want to step up and, let women know not to be scared and come forward. I've met such wonderful people from doing volunteer work, and people that serve and people that give. And so, I try to be at peace so it doesn't drive me completely nuts, because nuts is not good ever. And so I'm just so happy that I'm out of there. And what gets to me is the thought of girls that are in my position, or that were in my position at that age, that didn't know exactly the effect that it would have on them at an older age, and how important it is to just, whenever it's wrong, to definitely report it. Find somebody that you trust in, and believe that whenever you feel that nobody loves you, they don't have to be close to you, like relative or best friend, to be able to help you out, because people really do care. There's people that want to help, and that want to put an end to the wrongs that, men are doing. My name is Wendy, and I am a life survivor.